Black Power. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV House of Consciousness. It's my absolute pleasure to be here with the spokesman, Mr. Fantastic, the man that's in demand right now, the man that crushed it at the debate, in my humble judgment, just with the couple interviews that was done during the debate and after the debate. You don't want to fuck with Sankofa. That's what I got out of the debate, but it was a good debate. I think, it's over now. I don't want to keep going. This is the first time I really said anything on it. I think both of the brothers did good.
Very.
And that's all I got to say basically is that, the debate was a very good debate. I like the way that you dealt with the question, bringing the questions to Brother Sharif. I like the way that you presented yourself with Brother Red Pill. I think that, brother, it was your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is powerful, yet balanced. There's just 360 degrees with you, brother. You can go all in one package.
Wow. I'm very grateful and flattered and honored that that you perceive your brother Sankofa that way. So I want to first and foremost say thank you humbly. I appreciate that. And I want to send a shout out to the viewers and say peace and black power. And thanks for tuning in to House of Consciousness, Baba TV, yet again, to check out your brother Sankofa, who's going to keep it real or keep it trails all the time, because that's all I know how to do, because that's how I'm wired. I want to start off by giving a shout out to one of the members of my study group, Uniteam, okay? We make unity like a team effort. Everybody has a position to play, okay?
And it should be universal, excuse me.
Well, every journey starts with a first step. So Uniteam, you know what I mean? A study group. We're not just a study group. It's personal. We're friends. We're like brothers. It's a camaraderie, a unity initiative that has been working and is continuing to work, and we're learning, we're growing, and we're trying to do big things and take it to another level. I always emphasize my brothers and sisters out there. If you're studying, you're into getting knowledge, network with other brothers and sisters who have that common thread, who are seeking information, who are seeking enlightenment, who is pursuing understanding and knowledge on a vast array of different topics that would allow blacks to become conscious. Unify with them. Have principle unity. Sometimes you got to break bread with people and get to know them. A study group meeting somewhere, an agreed upon area upon which you and other people can. It doesn't have to be that big. It can start small. It's small doors that lead into bigger rooms, okay? So you always got to look at that. Start a small study group. It doesn't have to be called Uniteam, but if you're out there and you're really wanting to network with me and my brother Al, shout out to my other brother Big L, aka Brother Tariq. He's at work right now, so he couldn't make it, but he's like, man, the minister of information of the Uniteam. I mean, when I say every week this brother gets books, right?
Social studies. He's social studies.
Always. I mean, this brother, every week, if we mention a book or a reference, it goes to show you people out there paying attention. He's not going to just, and go parrot you. He's going to go get the book and not just read the reference you got, but read the book itself. So he is preparing himself to, to get out here and start teaching one day as well. But these young brothers out here, I'm telling you, black community, we have a bright future ahead of us, okay? But we have to become, because bright is synonymous with light. If there's no light, it can't be bright. So that light of knowledge that we see is getting to the people, and the people are being receptive of, and many people, this information is resonating within them, causing them to become conscious and enlightened. This paradigm that you're seeing of ignorance is going to be offset, undermined, and overcame. It's just a matter of time, brothers. So never lose hope, and never lose determination, dignity, and never lose that passion and zeal for continuing to study and principally unify along lines, because you see the decadent condition that we're in. You see, sometimes when you look at the level of ignorance, it appears like maybe there won't be any change. It doesn't seem feasible or realistic. What is going on with the condition of our people? Why are we so ignorant? Why are we so divisive? Why do we infiltrate and sell out our own organizations and movements? Why do we sell out our own best interests? A lot of times this can make people think there's no hope for us. I'm going to just pay my bills, take care of my kids, do good in life, and, let whatever's going to happen, happen. That pushes people into that box kind of thinking, not wanting them to be proactive, because a lot of times what you see here, without enlightenment or consciousness or understanding, can distort your perception of things and can make you not a non-visionary, meaning you don't really see any worth, even if you don't admit it to yourself subconsciously, because most of the things we do and think and say and feel is based on the subconscious anyway. So a lot of times the things that we see, the negativity, the crime, the fratricide, we see how people are turned out, we can give up. But see, it takes an enlightened and conscious person in light of all of that, right, Baba? In light of all the decadence, all the division, all the hatred, all the death, all the despair, and it's not to say there's nothing positive in our communities, because there's not. What I am doing is highlighting the negative, because these things must be addressed, okay, and they must be destroyed ultimately. And the process of doing that is becoming enlightened. And the process of becoming enlightened is getting knowledge. And the process of even wanting to get knowledge is to be inspired to get it. So teachers have to be here. Students, in order to become a teacher, you have to be a student. There's a process to everything is what I'm saying. Everything happens in an organized and orderly fashion, but it has to be rooted in reality. You have to be a visionary. You have to have faith in what you're doing. You have to know that what you're doing is right, and see and feel and know that the desired outcome, and even better than what you can even perceive, is what is going to be at the end of this. So that's why us at the unit team, we commit to studying. You know why? Knowledge humbles you. I'm grateful for the props that you gave me, Brother Baba. You said I'm deep, and you know why? I don't look at myself as deep, even though I know my worth as far as my intellectual capacity by proxy of what I've studied and how many years I have been studying. You know what I mean? But the more I learn, even though I appreciate the compliment that you gave me, Baba, and I sincerely mean that, the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. Meaning it doesn't cancel out everything I learned. That's not what I mean. That means I realize how much more there is to know about what I think I already know, and how I think I know what that is, and I'm deep. It goes in even deeper layers. And because of that, I've committed myself to being a critical analysis, using diacritical evaluation and syntactic analysis. You know what I'm saying? Working on my ability to talk and convey my point. Because you can be deep as hell. You could have a doctorate degree, a PhD in all kind of different critical subject matters. You can be a certified teacher, okay? But you might not have that it factor, that ability, that passion, that spirited type of ability to talk to not just the minds of the people, but talk to the hearts and the minds and the conditions of the people, and make it to be able to resonate within them. Malcolm X had that capability. But see, he didn't go get educated in the institutions of the corporate educational institutions. Not to say that if you have a pursuit in that, or you're already in school, to drop out and forget it. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying learning, there's different methodologies of learning. Okay? Now here it is, a brother, Malcolm X, dropped out of school in the 8th grade. Times was hard. He was going through a lot. His father was murdered. Mother went into a mental institute. He had to go live out in Boston with his sister Ella. His sister Ellen. Ella, sorry. And you know, he went to prison. He had heart, courage, because he came up in that fast life like a lot of us do. Coming from the bottom, coming from the decadence, the despair, the division, which we consider normal. And you don't even care about liberating your people. And if anything, you want to exploit that which is exploitable for your own means of survival. And all of that to be exploited is in our communities by design. But see, Malcolm X, when he made the mistake and went to prison and he educated himself, getting back to the importance and the necessity of education. Even if you're going to school, it doesn't stop there. Education in the extended classroom of life has to persist. You have to go into books that you're not going to learn in school and study a plethora of different things. Malcolm X did that. He mastered the English dictionary, stepped his vocabulary up. So when he does talk, what he's saying with his intellect can resonate in the people, where you might not have the ability to talk like that, but be very intelligent. But when you're talking to people, you're rocking them to sleep. Their attention spans are all over the place, because you might be talking to the condition and the problem. You might even have a great solution, but being able to balance the ability to talk, the ability to convey yourself publicly, or even individual counseling somebody, or teaching them one-on-one. The ability to do that, not everybody has that. So that is a passion that I feel, that is a capability and ability that I feel and know that I have within me. Many other people do have it. Maybe they have to tap into it. Some people realize that they have that spirit in them, that spirited capability to talk and to convey themselves with confidence and clarity and intelligence. You know what I mean? So what they're conveying, whether agreed or disagreed, people can say, well, that brother or that sister is very intelligent. I might not agree with them, but I understood what they were saying. Even if I must understood the point, they're very articulate. So being articulate and being scholastic is very important. Studying is very, very, very important. The institutes of higher learning that you see are not just here, just to give people the degrees. No, they're helping people to keep the conveyor belt of control going and going and going. So that in order to produce more of people who are going to be gatekeepers of this system and advance people through technology and higher education, you have to have institutes of higher learning. Yes, those things is important. Study and research is going on all the time. While we're reading books, somebody else is somewhere digging up things on information campaigns or fact-finding missions. Why? Because that's how you advance, evolve, and that's how you maintain control or come into power or control. Knowledge. Studying is very important. And one thing I learned about studying so much is that, wow, we have so much to learn. A lot of the boxes that we're in as far as dogma and religion, and it's not like I'm just knocking everybody's religion. When I asked the questions I asked the brother Sharif Bey at the debate, it was a legitimate question, it was an intelligent question, and it was a question that was pertinent to the topic of the debate. Are we Moors? And I think that the question I asked wasn't like it was coming from a perspective of an ignorant, unlearned person, or just a person that was a heckler, or a person that was being divisive. But see, some people have tried to ignorantly and slanderously try to put that on me. Because when I ask questions, like Dr. Khalid Muhammad said, when you throw a rock into a pack of dogs, whichever dog's barks is usually the one that got hit. So I wasn't trying to throw no stones, it's just an allegory. But what I put out there was hard, even though it wasn't a complex question, but I didn't get any answers. All I got, not from everybody, a lot of people showed the brother love and, gave me credit where it was due, and I humbly accept that. And I even accept the criticism, okay? I can accept criticism long as it's constructive criticism and not disrespectful criticism. Because I'm the type of person that if you clap, I'm going to clap back. You're not going to disrespect me and think because I call myself conscious and I say that we need to unite, that you're going to be in the comment boards disrespecting me, going in on me, talking all kind of personal, disrespectful things that have nothing to do with the diet, because I'm from the streets too. And we all are. And don't get when I say I'm from the streets wrong. Are you conscious or are you a street nigga? No, I'm balanced. I'm a conscious street. You know what? I ain't going to say nigga because I'm more than that. I'm a soldier and a scholar. But I wear my heart on my sleeve when necessary because I have been battle tested. I have kind of came up rough. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and tell you war stories or nothing like that, but I've been through the battles. I got scars, bullet holes in my arm, little slices on my face you don't even probably notice. You know what I'm saying? I've done stuff to other people. I've been incarcerated as a result of this. And this is when I even had knowledge. Kind of going back into the worldly ways and making mistakes. It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. So the whole point of the matter is little brother, he's locked up doing life for murder. Right now, out in Boston. So I came up rough. Grandmother was an activist, shot in the head and killed, murdered. I seen a lot in my life. So I'm not, I try to balance my humility with my passion and my zeal and my ability to step up when you're disrespecting me. It's a balance, but I think for the most part, even though I'm not perfect, and a lot of people, Sankofa was bullying the brother. He elbowing him out the way. Sankofa slandering me. He's always got to be drunk. I can't just be a person that's not having it, because people get caught up in YouTube videos and think that they just know you and don't know that everybody, not just me, even you out there watching this, even in your life, you exist in layers. Regardless of what somebody's perception of you, it goes in layers, and the same thing with me. So you had some brothers, when I answered the question and my critique of Brother Sharif Bey with the debate, which the topic was, are we Moors, which I don't feel that he emphatically proved or even slightly came close to. Okay, he didn't address the subject matter, but he damn sure did a good job. He's very intelligent, and I have a lot of respect for him regardless. This is just my personal critique of the debate at hand, not a critique of his character. So don't get it wrong. But when I critiqued the question, there was in the comment board, brothers talking about, Sankofa, if you come to Brooklyn, this and that's gonna happen to you. I'm gonna send 100 wolves to you. Oh, don't say it's snitching, because I ain't, nigga, I'm shit. You send the comment. You know what I'm saying? It was in the you snitching, saying that. She just run up on. He said, Sankofa, don't come to Brooklyn. I have 70. You should have said where you was at. I would have came right to where you was at in Brooklyn and let you tell me that. Hold fast, B. I'm in an interview. And let you tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Or you know where I'm at every Saturday. Not to get on no nigga shit or try to push negativity or division, but some things need to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? I got kids. Oh, daddy's coming home. It's gonna be me or you. When you threaten my life or my physical well-being because of an ideologically different, but you're not gonna use constructive criticism. You want to use physical criticism or threaten to because you disagree with my handle and how I break things down or my cross-examination or analysis of your viewpoints and ideology. Then that shows that you're weak. That shows that you're lame. That shows that you're a fucking coward because you're in the comment boards on Facebook responding to things. But that's small. I got other things to talk about, more important things to worry about. It's just you got to be very careful when you approach a brother like me coming at me like that. Because I'm scholar, I'm black power, I'm about unity first. And I don't just kick knowledge, I also kick ass. So keep that in mind. Black power.
Black power.
I'd just like to say that not only they made threats, whoever it was, even made threats when Brother Sonetta did something the other day with Professor Smalls, and he got so mad, Sonetta just pulled the cord. Some of our people got on there and made threats to the good Professor Smalls. So I'm not saying that it was Moors. I don't know who it was, but if it was somebody, that's dealing with religion, then you're right. It's not the religion; it's the goddamn philosophy of the religion that makes you act like that.
Ooh. Oh man, powerful point. Because religion can be good. I'm not going to just knock all the tenets of religion. When we go at religion, we are basically evaluating, and we have the right to, because we are teachers, right? And we are researchers, and we are historians, and we're freedom fighters and liberators. So when you put that all together, you will have to cross-examine the tenets of things. You will have to separate the pros from the cons. You have to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly in it. So the good in religion, it speaks for itself. It teaches about a lot of it, brotherhood, sharing, caring, giving to the poor, helping people out, doing good because there's a better future or an afterlife if you look at it eschatologically and your doctrine, okay? All these things cover that. But also, in religion has been spread a certain way. The ideology has been known to produce people who become very psychopathic in their theological belief systems, where the battery is in their back to want to harm, hurt, or kill, or slander, or deceive in the name of their religion. So we can't just look at the good of religion and say, well, there was many wars fought under the Islamic. They were. We're not taking that away. But the opposite, the flip side of that coin is not above critique. We have to take an assessment and an analysis of all the dynamics of what religion does, how much good is in it versus how much bad is in it. We have to put it all on the table because our people are very religious. We're more religious than we are spiritual, than we are political, than we are academic, than we are economically stable. We're just more religious. So we're not balanced. And a lot of time the religion hinders us from getting on those other 5 levels of economics, spirituality, politics, and getting ourselves together in an organized, orderly fashion and becoming liberated. A lot of times religion divides us and makes us prejudiced towards each other. You already prejudge them. What do you believe in? As soon as they say, oh, I'm black power, I don't believe in that. That's that old black power. You don't say, don't you know the government set that up in the 1960s? They automatically just jump on that. Divisive. Not everybody, but if it pertains to you, that's who it pertains to. I'm highlighting points. I'm not painting a big picture with one small brush. I'm talking about where this applies, for those out there who want to critique every single thing. So we have to take an assessment and evaluation of religion, what it does. Is it good for us? The way we exercise the practice of religion by proxy of the philosophy and the ideologies that are parts of the tenets of religion that have a psychological impact on the minds of people, and therefore the psychological impact that it has on your mind affects what you do, your ways, your deeds, and your actions, and your engagements with other people. So we have to assess, is that dynamic of religion good? Why it's not? And how do we deprogram us? You know what I mean? So the topics of these things are not just to go at people's religion, to be participants and divisive about what somebody believes in. We're already divided about belief. How much more divided we gonna be about trying to break the shackles and discover the hidden parts or the unknown factors in these religions so we become liberated from that which is keeping us divided in the first place, which is dogma. You gotta look at things in layers. You got to look at things from different angles. If you're only looking at things from one perspective, you would assume that this platform is geared towards just breaking down people's religions and having debates and disagreements with people. Because what we're doing, whether you agree or disagree with the platform or not, and you're entitled to that, respectfully so, how many people are waking up all across the country, all across the world, shouting out the platform saying they wasn't even interested in this knowledge. They would have never even heard of some of the books that they picked up and started reading, or they would never even know how to engage in certain topic matters that are relevant and critical these days, and had they not watched our platform and became privy to it. I meet people like that all the time, and I'm not no star lecturer, debater, or nothing like that. I'm just your brother Sankofa, a soldier, warrior for the cause of black power and liberation that's on the front line, that uses common sense. I've done research almost 30 years under my belt. I might look young, but don't let the face fool you. I've been around a long time, and through trial and error, and even being a part of some of these religious dogmas, and being a product of some of those tenets, I have the ability to step out and look at things in a more panoramic view. Because I didn't just read a few books. I've made the mistakes. I've been in the streets. I've been in different doctrines. I've cross-examined. You know what I'm saying? And that's why my research and my level of research is going to be shown improved. Because you're going to see a lot more of Brother Sankofa. You're going to see me doing things more publicly as far as the lecture circuit, and anybody out there who has an opposing view from me, I'm open for debate with any one of you. Long as you're respectful and you want to run, it's a topic that I feel is conducive with something that's going to break shackles on the minds of our people, and there's a level of respect and integrity I can feel that I can have with you or build with you, I'm open for a debate. Because a lot of people got it twisted. And I don't say this egotistical, but a lot of people watch these little views, and a lot of these topics that we have, we don't prepare to come up here and just talk about stuff. It'd be off the top of the head. So sometimes you might, you know, be a little long-winded, or you might bump somebody, hey, back up, brother, or you might, you know what I'm saying, because this is real. This is like the intellectual black conscious Royal Rumble / Battle Royal here. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're coming into. So you gotta, your handle has to be quick, you have to be swift, and you can't just be parroting what you read in a book. Your handle has to be sharp to talk about anything on a drop of a dime. And make it make sense, make it conducive with reality that is critical of necessity, that are topic matters that we should be engaging in and dialoguing about. You can't just always get that out of a book, even though you need to read the books. It's about balance. There's a difference between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and just having knowledge. Knowledge means you can read something and know, you memorized it. But how good are you at somebody asking you questions in opposition to what you have as an antithesis? Are you going to just parrot something else that you know? Or are you going to put it in perspective and use a critical evaluation to make the dots connect so that you can convey understanding to the person asking a question? Or are you going to say they're a heckler and they're disagreeable and they don't got the spirit of the Most High on them? Is that what you're going to say? But see, that's what religion does to a lot of us, not all of us, to many of us. Okay? So, you know, study to show thyself approved. It says that in the book of Timothy chapter 2 verse 15 in the Bible. Now, I'm not a believer in everything in the Bible, and I don't think it's true because it's in the Bible. It's just true, and that's why the Bible put that in it. But you have to study to show yourself worthy. If you're going to, for anything, a course that you're taking in school, if you want to become a person that's into refrigeration, okay, and you got to go study a book. You got to put in that effort. You got to do the research. If you want to become a damn brain surgeon, you have to study that book. Your life has to be encompassed with the knowledge of every dynamic of the brain and how it works, the tools in which you use, the critical knowledge, the knowledge that not everybody's privy to. You have to commit yourself to that. If you're going to be a person that's committed to liberating the minds of people, and you're in the business of breaking shackles, psycho-spiritually, mentally, intellectually, you're going to have to study to show yourself approved. You're going to have to do research. You can't be hostile to questions or people's responses. That's not the sign of an intelligent, learned, and wise man. But see, a lot of times we're caught up in your feelings, and a lot of times religion has the ability, and has shown all the time, it has the ability to put people in these emotional boxes. You start to not judge things based on intellect and rationale, but emotionalism and ignorance, by proxy of which your religion psychologically does to you. It impedes you along certain lines when it comes to your judgment and how to deal with people that disagree with you. And once again, as a disclaimer, this doesn't pertain to anybody who has a religious ideology. Some of the best good people and giving and loving people I know come out of different religions. I got friends that I know that's Christians, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a friend that, shout out to Minister Cooper, Demetrius Cooper out in Boston in Mattapan. You know what I'm saying? Good preacher. He ain't no Uncle Tom preacher either. You know what I'm saying? He keep it real. You know, he's gonna believe in Jesus as long as he believes in him that looks like him, and he doesn't teach that lie to the babies, but he actually does things in the community, feed the community. He's a real good dude. He's humble. He's a loving-hearted spirit. So even though he's not what I'm down with, I'm not gonna not unite with him along certain lines because he's a Christian. I'm not that shallow, and I know our situation, and we're in dire straits, and our situation is very critical. And we need not be that shallow. We need to unify along lines where we can have principled unity. Brother Tahar, the hell with that, Savage. Excuse me. Brother Tazariak, soldier, on the front line, out here teaching. Shout out to the ISUPK Israelites. I have a critique about them last week, and in the comment board, you have these over-emotional religious zealots acting like it's supposed to be a bloodbath because I critique certain things that they said and gave my perspective, and I'm open for critique as well. I can handle that. My skin is thick. You know what I'm saying? But my whole point is that he sat here today and gave a very good breakdown on Sarnetta TV. If you're not watching this, check it out. Tazariak went in talking about different current events. I like the way he breaks things down and teach. I don't have to agree with all his ideological tenets, but I respect him as a person. He has integrity. He's a soldier. He loves the people, and he's a warrior for the cause. So I can dare to disagree with him, okay? And I'm going to say it like this. He said last week in the book of Amos chapter 3, where it says, can two men walk together, says this in the Bible, unless they agree? The brother said we can't. I said, yeah, we can. It never extended. It never said unless they agree upon everything. It never said that. It said unless they agree. You can agree to disagree. Good point. You can agree that, okay, even though I don't believe that what you got to believe, we got to hold stand on United Black Front right here on the front line right now because they're killing and shooting down too many armed, God forbid, 10 unarmed people shot down in one day. What are we going to do? The community sees us on videos talking and banging on each other, okay? Are we going to subside from our egos and our emotional attachment to our super egos and our emotional attachment to our religious dogma for the greater good of the people, okay? Which is really practicing civilization and righteousness, you know what I'm saying, principle unity? Or are we going to say, well, at the end of the day, I'm not going to unify with you and stand against you with all the death, the decadence, the despair, the police brutality, the injustice, all this that was going on in the hood, and we're leaders. We're not going to come together as leaders, as a united front to unify and lead the community into organizing and having principled unity. We're not going to do that based on the tenets of ideological differences that we have. That's not intelligent. It's not scientific. It is not nationhood. It is not pro-black. It is not righteous at all. It's wrongtious. Not righteous. It's wrongtious. Wrongtious. I have to go in a new word. Yeah.
I just wanted to know, do we as a people need religion? I mean, like, for us to interact with each other, do we need a book to tell us how to behave and interact with each other? I don't understand why we need something like that to tell us how to behave. Yeah. How not to hurt somebody else, to treat somebody the way you want them to treat you. You feel me?
Yeah. Very, very good question, brother. The brother just asked, he said, do we need religion? We don't need religion. I know I'm speaking about what it pertains to us and my people, brother. Good question, by the way, too. I'm going to say we don't need religion. Religion is not essential for survival. We do need instruction. Because as a people who have been robbed of a comprehensive knowledge of ourselves, have been raped, robbed, and murdered, not only physically, but psychologically and psychospiritually, as a people who don't even know the power of their own being, who are hypnotized, not just brainwashed, hypnotized. We are under a spiritual hypnosis or religious hypnosis by proxy of a lot of the religious dogmas that we believe. So I think that religion is part of the problem. Now, and I don't want people to say, but I thought you said your minister was a good friend of yours. He is, and I expressed that to him. But he understands where I'm coming from, because he's the type to say, well, it ain't religion if you follow Christianity the right way. It's a way of life. He's going to say that. So along lines, he said, but listen, I'm not afraid to say black power. I support what you say along lines. I can get him to say that because the way I come to him, I'm not just knocking you because of your religion, but if your religion is right and the end all be all, God is going to reveal the truth, and that which is going to happen anyway, then what are you uncomfortable about? The kingdom, the power is in your hands. The kingdom is yours. What are you worried about? But right here, what was bad when mass incarceration was going down through the Clinton administration, oh man, what a tangled web we weaved if we don't really get ourselves together and properly plan to counter that. because that is what is coming. And if you don't know that, I suggest you start to look into that, because I don't want to look like I'm trying to impose an idea or concept on you. I mean, if you don't see it all around you, and what you see is just the surface, where there's smoke, there's fire. Oh, there's hella fire coming our way. And if we're not prepared to quench that by properly planning and preparing and having principled unity, meaning economics, a point platform, it can be 10, 20, 30 point platform in which we all have common unity on, and tenets in which we all adhere to along lines. We don't expect everybody to do it. That's fantasizing and that's romantic. But if the right amount of people do it and the right people do it the right way, we will impact great change. Why? Because the micro affects the macro. Even your body is made up of small unseen things.
When you
Atoms.
Fire coming our way, what you mean by that, though?
I mean, hell,
Hellfire, actual
chaos,
literal hellfire, or just
gunfire. No, fire can be used synonymous with something that destroys or
You're
consumes.
not talking about the actual
No. Because what I was talking about is hell coming our way in a form of injustice, injustice, and white supremacy, unleashing injustice on us in many ways.
Right.
Okay, so I'm using that euphemistically. I'm being as an allegory. Fire, because fire consumes, it burns, and who wants to burn? But that's what's coming your way. And if you don't prepare, you see that.
Been here with us.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
So you understand yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So that's a good question, just so I can put it in perspective. And you know, we need to have dialogues about so many different things. Topics and information can go in layers and can be infinite with no end to it. You know what I mean? And I liked just the fact that we study. Some people think, why are you studying that? How's that going to liberate your people? We were studying about Marxism, socialism, and Marxism last Wednesday at our study group, right?
Yep.
But was we studying because we wanted to be socialists?
No.
We were studying it because we wanted to see the thinking of those who practice that.
Right.
Why so many of the Black Power movements in the 60s and liberation ideological movements in the 60s align themselves with the political philosophy of socialism. What is socialism? Why is it called socialism? Who started it? Where and why? And why did our people see some kind of camaraderie in that? We're studying from that perspective. So when we speak on things, or we're reaching people who come from those different backgrounds or who believe in those different things, we're well-rounded and versed in different levels of history from different areas, so we're qualified to speak on some things. Because we take this serious. When we study and we want to teach the people, we don't want to be ignorant. Does that mean that we have to know it all? No. But we want to speak on things with a little bit of understanding and knowledge on what it is that we're talking about. Okay? I study all kind of things. I was reading books by Mao Zedong. I love his literature. I was reading shit on John F. Kennedy. He's a very great orator. Now, I'm not buck dancing and giving no goddamn credit to the Peckerwood. I'm just saying that I study and research a lot into Hitler. As crazy and a madman as he was, and they made him to be, he was very intelligent. He was a strategist, and he was a beast when it comes to organizing. And you see his perspective that he was coming from. You can learn a lot about why white on white crime, because they never called it that, went on. Why most of the wars, which were whites killing each other, which was in the millions, they never called that white on white. We can go into what the battle was for them over resources and power, and why they had differences and what they're doing. Sometimes as a strategist, you can exploit the differences that they have. You can know the difference that they have. You can get this ironclad concept that you have in their mind as this undefeatable empire, or this modern day beast that can't be touched. You get that out your mind because you study your enemy's weaknesses, you study their history, you study the language that they use and the emblems that they use for a reason. So you can have a proper antithesis against them because you have knowledge by proxy of the fact that you did research, opposed to you just speaking. Imagine I'm speaking on things about a plethora of different topics. All I study is Black Power ideology. I don't study spirituality. I don't study history. I don't study science. I don't study none of these things.
Look,
I will have a very boxed perspective.
No knowledge is bad. It depends on how you apply the knowledge that you get.
That's right.
Your intent. You know what I'm saying? So no knowledge.
Knowledge has to be applicable, and then I like to just learn just for the fact of learn.
To the people that you with,
That's
that you're
right.
around. You know what I'm saying? No, you're right. I study anything. I don't care what it is. The King James demonic. They say something about demonology. Some book he wrote. Demonology book that he wrote or whatever. People say stay away from that. That's demonic. Whatever. No, you're supposed to study everything you can get your hands on.
Right.
You read everything you. Yeah, exactly.
Because real, granted, there's so many books out. We're not. And listen, hold on. In the conscious community, there's more.
No, you read as much as you can. You find out as much as you can. I read everything. I don't care. All that spookism stuff I don't deal with. You deal with science, you deal with reading and knowledge. And it's how you apply it to other people you deal with, that you interact with. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like. I respect you on that. Like.
Yeah, so, and it's not like we're going to study every single thing, because knowledge is infinite and there's so many books. So I'm saying study as much as you can, because some people get spooked. Why study all that? It ain't going to help liberate us. And revolution starts within and it spreads abroad. Things may educate you or propel you forward intellectually or broaden your scope to let you be on a certain path that you're destined to be. Never limit yourself. Right. I have a core foundation of that which I study. Black liberation theology, ideology, so economics, science, politics, and all that I study is geared towards bringing about liberation for our people, which is complete constructive change. But however, I'm not going to limit the knowledge that I speak about to just that. But the core of that is mostly encompassed into that. But I don't just limit myself to that. So that's why when you talk to me and I can give the critiques like the brother Baba gave me and said, well, those are very good questions. You know why? Because I study stuff about history outside of just our history here or in Africa. Or I study our history not just in Africa or in America, but in other places in the diaspora. Because it's important. Because I consider myself a teacher. A teacher doesn't mean you have to go through the corporate education complex and get a degree necessarily. It's about methodology, commitment, expectation, okay? Those are the things that constitute a real teacher, okay? And since I use those components and I am academic by proxy, that I've committed myself to research, almost 30 years, went through many different schools of thought, a lot of people get my handle misunderstood because I haven't jumped in the ring just to debate somebody. You know, a lot of times you got other things going on in life, domestically, paperwork-wise, you're taking care of other things. People just say, well, you have an opinion, a disagreeable one with my religion. Jump in the ring. You ain't that deep. I get all kind of hate, but I get more love. I get more love from the people, but the hate is really because a lot of times it's rooted in jealousy. They see a brother, a man that knows how to hold his own. You don't have to agree with me, but I know how to hold mine. I got heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bad looking for my age, about to be 42. You know what I'm saying? My birthday same day as Malcolm X, May 19th. You know what I'm saying? So I'm entering that age bracket. So a lot of times people who, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't have the audacity. Maybe not. Maybe they do. Or they're just hating, or they just, or maybe they just disagree, but they disagreeably disagree. Okay? Because some people not all for the same reason. They're just all hating. But there is a lot of hate in them. There is a lot of jealousy, and you can tell by the content of the hate that comes out of their mouth. And a lot of times their religious dogma that they're rooted in and their unchecked nigger mentality before they got into these religions, the nigger mentality wasn't never reformed. So all they did was enhance the nigger mentality because they put some divinity on it because I got some knowledge now and I know how to quote and parrot some goddamn scriptures. But if it's not applicable and it's not bringing about complete and constructive change within you, because revolution starts within and then it spreads abroad, so we all individually have to become revolution-minded, revolution-oriented. And then you take those things, and you network with other people, and you bring about revolution on a collective level, but it starts on an individual level. Real revolution, not romantic revolution. What's your question?
Question, brother?
Yes, sir.
Should the European race be punished for what their ancestors did?
Yes, because you know why? There's no statute of limitation on murder.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's right.
what they got, the Buckingham Palace,
Right.
the White House, the Vatican. I mean, I can name all kind of different multi-trillion-dollar places and compounds that they have, along with controlling the oil,
That they benefit.
the diamond trade, the gold trade, Oppenheimers, the De Beers, the Jews, because it wasn't just the European, it was all the people that don't even consider themselves European, all white or Caucasians, no matter what they go under, have either benefited from, okay, directly, or are still benefiting from on a higher echelon, okay? So yes, because they have appropriated much wealth and power and they still oppress and maintain their power to be able to oppress and control the higher institutions of education and science, it is imperative that justice and reciprocity prevail, because they say two wrongs don't make a right. That's what they buck dance and say, some people. But I say, but it damn sure makes it even. It makes it even.
Yep.
And that's why if you kill somebody, they say that was the past.
Yep.
Well, today is based on the past, and tomorrow is going to be based on today. So if you killed somebody yesterday, you will be arrested today and go to jail tomorrow. Because there's no statute of limitation on murder, and I don't think it doesn't apply when it comes to Caucasians who have committed more murder, more genocide, there's been more disease, more death, more decadence, more wars. more destruction of history and natural resources, the ozone layers, certain animal species, since he's been on Earth in power in the last 500 years. Can I get a witness? Take me to church, y'all. Can I get an amen? Amen Ra, rather. So I'm just saying, being that they've done that and they parlayed that into a global power, and that's not even good enough. They're still trying to depopulate us. They still got elimination campaigns. They still got you, the blueprint for your history being, as I say this a lot, and I'm going to say it again, like fossils in a goddamn museum in the next 50 to 100 to 150 years. That's the plan for you and your babies. The Caucasian and the white resentment is rooted in this desire and need for genetic survival.
That's right.
Okay? So that's why you see whites raising up. We're losing America. We got to get America back. When the cracker Donald Trump says we got to make America great again, he's basically saying we got to make America white again. We got to make America white again. He said, when's the last time you seen something made in America? The China man really controls the economic backdrop. The backdrop of this, the China man has so much invested. There's more foreign investors in America because America's really a corporation. You see, it's really a corporation. It's not really a country. Okay, and after the Act of 1871, when they made Washington, D.C., they cut out the 10 by 10 square mile footage of what is now called Washington, D.C., and they passed the act, and look it up, called the Act of 1871. That's when America went from being the so-called organic government, even though it wasn't organic in our best interest, but even in their own people, into becoming a corporate government. Okay?
I read some literature that they owe some money to the crown. Is that true?
They owe money to the crown. America was born in debt. They were the Friendship and Treaty Act of in the 1700s, late 1700s, where the Sultan of Morocco even helped to finance America's first one. He was General George Washington. So America was born in debt, and America's still in debt, and that's why people in debt, they have the strongest military force, because international bankers invested in America from 1914. The Wahlbergs, the Rothschilds. Many of the elite families, the DuPonts. I mean, I can go on. Now, the De Beers. I mean, it goes on and on. So I'm just saying, like, when they made all these different investments in this country right there, they did that for political power, to put the Zionist Jew in power eventually, and let them control and dictate policy behind the scenes. What you see now is the American government that these white supremacists are fighting hard for, and all their ignorance and passion is really, though, that's why they hate the Jew so much too. That's why they hate the Jew, because they know that behind the scene, what they consider their bastardized white brethren is their enemy, because he's controlling the scene. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing is, the international bankers control shit. It's the most powerful government in the world because of its military might and its technological advancement, because the economic sources that is here. The most real resources, which comes from the mineral resources, gold and oil and diamond from the earth, the white man doesn't have that here in America. He doesn't have that in Europe. These are in the Fertile Crescent areas, what is called falsely now the Middle East, which is really Northwest Africa. That's where all the gold and the oils and the best resources are at, and all of a sudden, that's where all the terrorists is at. Yeah. So that's the cracker for you. In the 1960s, during the time of communism, after the Cold War era, you had the Bay of Pigs going on, and a situation going on in Cuba. The Cuban Missile Crisis, and everybody was labeled, and many other things. The Russian government, the Soviets were going at it back and forth. It was, the Cold War state. So either directly or indirectly, people were fighting on behalf of Russia against America, or behalf of China, communist government regime and all that. And they were aligned with a lot of socialists and were aligned with the Soviets. Okay, and the terminology that America used then to get people to go to war for their best interest and cause, because the international bankers and the Zionists are the ones who really profit from it. They used the catchphrase, that they were communists. The people was communists. You said 60s and a communist. That was synonymous with saying terrorists today. Now the punchline is terrorism. Now there's resources that they covered somewhere else, and they have political enemies somewhere else. So now instead of using the term communist, it's terrorism. Terrorism. If you define terrorism, the white man has been the biggest terrorist on all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth over the last fucking 5 to 700 years. Okay? Nobody has out-murdered, nobody has out-raped, nobody has out-lied, nobody has out-connived the white man. When it comes to that, he is a master at what he does. Oh, the white man gets the Adolf Hitler Award for being the biggest devil on earth. He gets the Elvis Presley Award for being the biggest devil and destroyer on the planet Earth. So I do know, not just believe, that he has a divine rendezvous with destiny in the form of the karmatic debt that he owes to humanity for the death, the destruction, and the pestilence that he's responsible directly for causing and benefiting from to this day on the planet Earth. And if you do believe in a God and you don't believe your God or should or is going to bring destruction on global white supremacy for your best advancement and for your best advancement, okay, as a people, then you need to get out that religion. You are on a plantation spiritually, okay? You are spiritually in chains and shackles. You are on a spiritual plantation, and you think you're going somewhere, but you're going nowhere fast. All right? The young brother has a question? I got the nunchucks. I was a beast with them nunchucks. I was a beast.
Sorry.
Yeah, I used to do taekwondo. I was a beast with them nunchucks. I think I still got it.
If Donald Trump wins the primary,
talking to the mic.
the people that is not from this country are gonna leave.
If Donald Trump wins the primary, if everybody from this country they gotta leave.
Why do Donald Trump call the people racist?
Why does he call the people racist? Or why do people call Donald Trump racist?
Why do people call Donald Trump racist?
Oh, because, well, let's examine it. That's a very good question. Good questions, y'all. Appreciate the questions, my brother. Well, the first brother right here asked the question, and he asked if Donald Trump was elected, will all the people have to leave? Well, it kind of ties into what I was just talking about. White people feel like their population is threatened. Caucasians only make up 10% of the world population, minimally, and that's a generous amount. There was something that took place in the year 2000 called the Global 1979, under the research and development. What was they called? There was a think tank called RAND, Research and Development, a United States think tank, and a very elite one. And they determined through research, constant research over I think it was a period of 5 to 7 years, that Caucasians by the year 2000, and this is what they determined in '79, that by the year 2000, white people would have a 0% population growth. What that means is that white people, they only make up a small amount of people on the planet. There are more black people, so-called brown people. You know, we're not crayons. I'm just saying there are people of different colors and shades and hues that are not white. Native people, indigenous people, white people make up a small amount of population. And they said by the year 2000, more Latinos, more Arabs, Africans, and all that are coming. And there's only a certain amount of resources on the planet. Resources what you need for gold, for oil, for money, for diamonds. So white people feel like they have to compete more aggressively for their existence. That's why they had to create the idea of race, which was created by Johann F. Blumenbach and the University of Göttingen in the 1700s. The term racist was first coined by Leon Trotsky, which was part of the Bolshevik Revolution in 1942. These are things that you can look up. And they coined these terms and put this thing to make themselves an isolated people, which they are. They are a different people. They're the newest people on the planet Earth, of the part of the human family, if you want to consider them human. Exactly. But, and the brothers can go back and look at the footage, because I know they're young brothers, they full of energy and overzealous. I love it. But so what that means is, in order for white genetic survival to persist, and for them to exist, in the first law of nature is self-preservation, it is important and critical for their self-preservation that they eliminate people that don't look like them, or get them out the country, or steal their land, or take their resources, because it is imperative. Now, genetically, we can annihilate them because we have more concentrated melanin than them. So if we was to mix with Caucasians and they was to just rape all, we was to mix with them, what would happen? They would be genetically destroyed, Caucasians, because they're genetically inferior people. Do you agree with that? All right, Becky. All right, now, so, hard-boiled egg toilet seat looking cracker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she did? Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, so it is important critically for their self-preservation to depopulate as a means of being an equalizer in this race to obtain the resources and the riches of the planet Earth, in order to remain in power, and for the self-preservation of their children's children. It is very important. So AIDS popped up out of nowhere because of the Ebola virus. Oh yeah, Planned Parenthood. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment. They're going to show you they've been doing experiments in the black community for a long time. They was doing that to us for how many years? And we didn't even know that? And these crackers went there under the guise of free health care. So when you see them trucks in your neighborhood, just giving out shots, be careful. Be careful. I'm not going to say they're all bad, but just try to be careful and get a little educated on what's going on, you know? So I'm just saying, we're a product of being experimented on. Why? For depopulation. The tainted water in Flint with lead in it? You think that's a coincidence? Hell no, it ain't no coincidence.
Those immunization shots, they said, causes autism.
Autism? Hold up, the CDC, the Center of Disease Control in Atlanta, just a few months ago, I don't know if y'all heard of it, just a few months ago, they were saying that they admitted that they were giving black children vaccines that was causing all kind of mental and physical illnesses in them. This is the Center of Disease Control Atlanta. Go look it up. They are declaring war on you, and war is not one-dimensional. It is multi-dimensional. You think they're just supposed to come through the community with a whole bunch of insurgents with guns? No, that's the last resort, and they're planning for that too. But the war is the mind, the heart, the soul, economic and political control, biological and chemical warfare. These are biological and chemical war. They have something called silent weapons for quiet wars. Silent weapons for quiet wars. And if you read the protocols of the Elders of Zion, it gives you an idea of what the Jew has planned, because a lot of different whites have different plans and blueprints for hundreds of years. And what you're seeing is that which is coming to fruition from what they planned, and they stuck to their script. Black people, we need to stick with the script of Marcus Garvey, enhance it, or come up with a new one and attach it to that. And we need to have our script. We need to have our own counterintelligence movements. We need to have our best and brightest minds with a nationalistic attitude, because if we don't pool our resources, and we have many of them, there's no lack of resources, monetarily, intellectually, and otherwise in our community. But what there is a lack of community value and principle unity. And because we don't have that, we're losing on every other line. It's not because you're black and inferior. You have a powerful spending capability. According to the World Bank Atlas, we spend up to $800 billion a year in consumer books, but we're more consumers instead of producers. So we empower and we enrich other people, and by proxy of that, we are only financing our own oppression and demise when we really look at this thing in layers. So these things are about bringing it to the forefront, not to just have a conspiracy theory, not to get you all riled up with no answer, but we are part of the problem. Through ignorance, but through knowledge, we become part of the solution. So get knowledge that is applicable, that can apply, and commit yourself to wanting to learn, to study, not just to win a damn debate, but to win liberation, to win the hearts and minds of the people. I mean, we're going to win a lot of victories, we're going to lose some, because we have this romantic thing that we're going to go to war and we're going to just win. Well, we're not ready for no physical war, really ready right now. So what we need to do is get our faculties right in other areas. And we can do that, okay? Because anything against the current coming change of consciousness, which is inevitable, there's a consciousness shift. Information is expanding. People are learning. People are becoming more sharp. We're going out is going the age of I believe, in is coming the age of I know and I can prove. So we're in a world where anything that is in opposition to that current paradigm change shift, which is inevitably happening, will implode or destroy itself. A lot of the world powers and Caucasians are going to destroy themselves. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No tyrant lasts forever. There's too much corruption and dirty deeds and things going on in there that they're imploding as we speak. They have enemies with people with other scientific advancements and technology and resources just as much as them. When you just don't only watch American television, you'll know that. When you don't just read only American propaganda via the Jewish-controlled newspaper, you would know that. So we know that we have a bright future. We need to have principle unity on an international level. That's why Pan-Africanism or Parish is real, and we can win if we apply that. You know what I'm saying? Peace and black power, brother Sankofa. We have all the literature right here. You know what I'm saying? You can check out the books and information. I personally don't have any yet, but that is something that I definitely need to endeavor on. I'm out here all the time, okay? Hey, I appreciate your time. I love your spirit, brother. You have some great questions. Travel in harmony, brother, okay? And remember, we gonna win. We got this. We gotta say that to it. We gotta have the faith of a Christian. Not be a Christian, but have the faith of one. Being euphemistic. We have to be like them. You can't shake their faith, or the faith of a Muslim when it comes to black liberation. I didn't say be a Muslim or a Christian, because some of y'all get crazy and nutty. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the same faith that they have in something that is a lie. You have to have that same faith in something that is true, or that you can manifest as true right now in real time. So Pan-African or perish. If we don't do it, we are losing, and we help to defeat ourselves. We are the problem and the solution based on what we're dealing with on our level of knowledge and commitment to proactive action. All right, so on that note, I want to give Baba TV a shout out and thank him once again for coming down to Harlem. And his brother's diligent. He's always coming down here to Harlem, driving 8 hours, man, winter time. Man, it doesn't matter, man. His brother spends his time and his resources to come out here and contribute to interviewing people in the community, so it can bring you, those who are in New York that are not here, and those of you who are other places in the world, can get this knowledge, can get an idea of what goes on out here on the streets. The street scholarship has a platform because of committed brothers like Brother Baba. You know what I'm saying? My big brother. This platform is relevant because of people who are consistently committed to this. Okay? This is rooted in love for the people. He loves the people. That's why he comes down here and just does this. This takes time and money. You can be Saturday and it's nice and warm. You could have been frolicking around somewhere on the beach, which you would have had every right to. But you're out here with the people because he sees the bigger picture, and I love you. I honor you for that, and I want to tell you to keep up the good work, man, because you are helping to liberate the minds of the black people. And you, yes, Baba TV, House of Consciousness, okay, fire every time. You're an important jewel and gem in the black community, and I thank you daily. I want to give a shout out to Uniteam, and most of all, you, the viewership out there. Keep tuning in. Peace and black power.